Hello, Oilers fans. Austin here with the post-game fan reaction of Edmonton's 6-3 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights. The Edmonton Oilers have been playing in the middle of a gauntlet lately. They had Tampa Bay, Minnesota, and the Vegas Golden Knights, and they have combined to outscore them 15 to, is it 3, 4, 5? 15-5? Wow, I didn't even realize that that's what the stat was. But the Oilers have gotten through 3 of the 4 games in the middle of what a lot of us are calling a gauntlet. Their next game is against Florida on Monday, a little Stanley Cup final rematch, which I think we're all very much looking forward to. But in terms of a test of the season, of where Edmonton is sitting in terms of their overall play and where they stand with some of the NHL's best teams, I think Edmonton has more than passed this test, and I would love to see them absolutely throttle the Florida Panthers and get some early revenge on Florida. Who knows where things end up in the playoffs if they end up meeting again. A little bit of a cup final rematch would be absolutely outrageous, and I think hockey fans around the world would love it, unless you're not a fan of either team. But anyways, let's discuss the Oilers' 6-3 victory over the Vegas Golden Knights. If you end up enjoying this post-game fan reaction, make sure to smash that like button. And if you end up really liking it, make sure to subscribe to the channel. We just passed 4,200 subscribers, and we are already climbing up to 4,300 subscribers. The view counts on my videos lately have really gone up, so if you are new here, I do appreciate your support. Thank you so much for tuning in. It means the world to me. I'm super excited for the future of this channel, so thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, this post-game reaction is up much later than normal. I was working, so not being able to get this up until the evening, I do apologize. Tomorrow, there's going to be a lot that I discuss from this game. I'll touch on a few things tonight. One of the things I'm going to touch on is the potential goaltender interference. Mark Stone did make contact with Stuart Skinner. Eventually, the goal was upheld. They did count it, and I just want to quickly play the clip. I don't think the NHL is going to get mad at me for doing this because I'm going to play it frame by frame. And I'm going to make the argument as to why I agree with the call to call it a goal. Again, we've seen less get called back. I understand that the anger is more towards the inconsistency of goaltender interference, but there's some logic to this one, and I mean, I don't know if it's the same logic, but we are going to quickly play through this. Now, I think the argument that the official is going to make, and that, of course, Vegas fans would make as well, is Stuart Skinner, he reaches, watch his glove, he reaches, and he's the one that initiates the contact with Mark Stone here. Look, he puts his glove on Mark Stone's back. Again, Stuart Skinner is allowed everything up to the top of that crease, that red line at the top of the crease. That is Stuart Skinner's zone. He is more than allowed to be wherever he wants in there, put his arms wherever he wants within that, call it like an invisible barrier in front of him. But he does reach, he touches Stone, and then he takes his glove off as the shot's coming in. Stone, at this point, he's no longer in the crease. You might make an argument that maybe this right skate is kind of near the crease. I don't think it's in the crease, and then his stick is still making contact a little bit. But again, it's a real tough call because the call on the ice was a goal, and I understand why, if they had called it back, why they would have called it back. But I also understand why this was upheld. I don't think Stone did enough to impede Stuart Skinner, and if Stuart Skinner wasn't the one that pushed his glove hand onto Stone's back first, if Stone had if Skinner was standing there and he has his glove up and he's just waiting and Stone backed into him, into the glove, that's a different story. I think it 100% would have been called back if that was the case. Again, I'm playing devil's advocate here. I try not to, be too much of a homer on this channel, even though obviously head to toe Oilers gear. But I am trying to be really fair in my assessment. It was like the hit by Hartman on Bouchard the other night in Minnesota. Some fans wanted Hartman suspended. If it wasn't for the history of the player that hit Bouchard, I don't think a lot of us would have been calling for a suspension. Again, it's one of those things where puck battles happen. Sometimes players go down. At most, I thought that Hartman hit on Bouchard was interference. Bouchard, is it up to him to always brace for a hit? Maybe. Do you want to always play right to the whistle? Absolutely. Again, you don't want to blame a player for getting hurt. I'm not blaming Bouchard in that situation. But in tonight's situation, Mark Stone, I don't think that there was enough there to overturn the call on the ice. If the call on the ice had initially been no goal, and then Vegas had challenged to be like, hey, I don't think that was goaltender interference, That's another situation where I think, again, that would have been upheld. It would have been, if it was called no goal, it would have stayed no goal. It was called a goal. If that makes any sense to anyone watching, I know my thoughts aren't always like coherent when it comes to this stuff. But that's my thoughts on the goalie interference situation. I know a lot of fans were going to be asking about it, so I did want to touch on it before I discuss the rest of the game, which for the most part I think was played very well by the Oilers. Although after they went up 5-0, they took their foot off the gas, and Vegas, they made a big push. Once Vegas smelled blood, once Vegas was able to get their first goal, you could smell, like they could smell the blood in the water. And then when they made it 5-3, how many of you, and you have to be honest with me, how many of you were clenching your butt cheeks when Vegas made it 5-3 early in that third period? They score a shorthanded goal. Stuart Skinner should never, ever come out of his crease to play the puck. I don't care where the puck is and if it's beneficial for him to come out and at least stop it behind his net. No, absolutely not. Stuart Skinner, stop playing the puck. Or if he's going to play the puck, the Oilers have to hire Mike Smith as the goalie coach to allow him and teach him to how to properly come out and play the puck. Of course, Mike Smith was always an adventure as well. That's a whole other thing that we'd have to worry about. But, you know, the Oilers, they answered right back. Jeff Skinner made it 6-3, put the game away. And Stuart Skinner tonight, I thought he played very, very good hockey. He ended up with 3 goals against, but he did have a .925 save percentage. He had 1.6 goals saved above expected, at least according to Money Puck. He had a very, very good game. He allowed the Oilers to hang on here. When you're up 5-0, we should never be talking about hanging on. Do I think the game was ever out of Edmonton's control? No. Vegas did get a lot of shot attempts. They had a decent amount of high danger looks. Stuart Skinner was solid, and the Oilers defensively, again, they were solid enough. If there were rebounds, they were clearing, and you could tell Evan Bouchard, I know Bouchard hit a post today, not 100%. You could tell the way he was kind of moving on the ice sometimes. He's not 100%, but he was playing just good enough to allow the team to win this hockey game. And what can we say about Darnell Nurse too? Like, Darnell Nurse continues to elevate his game to a level where I didn't think it was possible, and that's really good to see. Let's discuss the first period scoring summary. It was a pretty evenly played game. The Oilers with an edge in shots, and then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins on the power play, an absolute snipe over Adin Hill. Really nice pass by Connor McDavid as well. Again, this is something that might go unnoticed by a lot of fans. I think as Oilers fans, we notice this. Zach Hyman is clearly screening Hill, and the way McDavid came in with that puck on the power play, when he chose to back pass it to the slot area, we're going to go to the NHL Edge visualizer because I want to show you what McDavid did here. He was aware of the screen, and he was also aware of where Nugent-Hopkins was, so all Nuge had to do was make sure he picked his corner and put that puck in the net because Adin Hill had absolutely no sight line, had no idea that McDavid even passed the puck back. Adin Hill was tracking McDavid and then had Hyman in front of him, could not tell. Let's do the edge visualizer here. The puck came around. Draisaitl grabs it, comes up the ice. He'll feed Connor McDavid, moving on in here. And then let's just quickly pause it here. McDavid, he sees 2 bodies in front of Adin Hill. Connor McDavid walks in. He quickly passes back to Nugent-Hopkins, and Adin Hill has absolutely no chance here. Like, he's got Hyman and number 14 on Vegas standing in front of him. All Nugent-Hopkins had to do is pick his spot, and he absolutely roofs it. Beautiful goal for Nugent-Hopkins. You love to see it. Zach Hyman's goal, we'll visualize his as well. It was off the faceoff early in the second period, a minute 13 in. We're watching it here. Hyman, he pressures the defender, Theodore. Puck comes to Nuge, it's stopped, and then Hyman, top of the crease, where he scored, I think, 50 of his 54 goals last season, or whatever it was. Whatever the stat, there's a hilarious stat about how many goals he scored from that area of the ice. Real good to see for Zach Hyman. He has been red hot since he came back from injury, and that's real good. He's been playing well, and Nugent-Hopkins as well, too. It's really good to see him back into form. A lot of people want to see Jeff Skinner in that top 6, but at least now other guys that weren't performing initially in the top 6 are starting to produce, and even Jeff Skinner is starting to carve out a bit of production in the third line there. And if he's able to continue to give some secondary scoring for the Oilers like he has been, that's real key for this team as well. Connor Brown's goal, he had a 2-on-1 with Draisaitl. Draisaitl, of course, he shot the puck off of the pad of Hill to get it to Brown. Draisaitl came in. Nice little shot pass here. here off of the pad, and then Brown puts in the rebound. Brown did not get a lot of that shot, but it didn't matter. He was able to put it through the 5-hole. And then Draisaitl's goal was really funny too. I was yelling at Janmark. Could not believe Janmark did not give him the puck on a breakaway here. Watch this. So Janmark has the puck along the left wall in the neutral zone. Look at Draisaitl cutting up through that. Like, he has a clear lane. Breakaway. Janmark, give him the puck. Give him the puck. Doesn't give him the puck. And Draisaitl was like banging a stick too. He was calling for it. Janmark drops it to Darnell Nurse, who makes a great pass in front, by the way. And that was on his backhand, too. What a pass by Darnell Nurse. Leon Draisaitl, he puts that puck home to make it 4-0 Edmonton. And then Corey Perry with an absolute snipe job to make it 5-0 at 12:53. Puck comes around in the corner. Connor Brown grabs it. He tried to center it to Derek Ryan, and it comes to Corey Perry. And look at the traffic in front. How did Corey Perry get the puck through 4 different players over Aiden Hill's his blocker and over through into the corner there, just bar down? What a shot by Corey Perry. He has 6 goals this season. Corey Perry has 6 goals. That is unbelievable. But the Edmonton Oilers, they played 3 real good teams in a row here, and they completely dominated pretty much every single game. And even that game a week and a half ago against Vegas where they lost 1-0, the Oilers dominated that one. Tonight, I would say Vegas probably had a bit of an edge in terms of the overall chances, high danger chances, the possession, shot attempts, of course. Vegas definitely, won the shot attempt battle. But Stuart Skinner was able to make the saves, and hockey is the only sport where sometimes things just find weird ways to even itself out. The Oilers deserved the win a week and a half ago in Vegas. Maybe Vegas deserved the win tonight, but it doesn't matter. That's not how hockey works. Both teams won a game apiece. The Oilers have now won 5 in a row, and they will await the Florida Panthers on Monday. Should be a great game. I do believe Barkov was not in the lineup tonight for the Panthers. I think he's dealing with an illness. So, in terms of I want to see Edmonton beat Florida at their best. I want to see Edmonton beat Florida with a healthy lineup. Both squads healthy lineup. If Barkov is out and Edmonton ends up winning like crazy, a lot of, Florida fans are going to be like, wait for Barkov. A lot of, Oilers fans, we're going to be happy, but I would like to see both teams fully healthy and ready to go. And hopefully Monday night is a fun game. The Oilers so far on Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey are 0-2. They've been outscored 6-0. Of course, one of the games that they were lost 3-0 I was at. That was the Montreal game. And then the previous Monday Night Prime game that they had was against New Jersey, and they also lost 3-0. Calvin Pickard was in net for both games. I think they're going to put Stuart Skinner in net against Florida on Monday. Thank you so much for watching my post-game fan reaction of the Oilers versus Golden Knights, the 6-3 win for Edmonton. Tomorrow, I'm hoping to get a day after discussion up, so keep an eye out for that. I love all of you, Oil Country. You mean the world to me. Your support has been amazing. Thank you so, so much. We'll see you soon. Tell someone that you love them, and always fight like a kid. Always fight like Ben. Did not forget the victory chain this time. I have to acknowledge that. Take care, Oil fans. We'll see you soon.